Good morning. Happy Sunday. Sundays are great, and this whole journey of doing these Facebook Lives, 15 minutes a day. By the way, today is day 51 of 90, but doing these Facebook Lives, I've come to enjoy Book Club Sunday because it forces me to read a book every week. And not only does it force me to read a book every week, it forces me to read it, digest it in a way that I can then talk about it on this live session. And so it really makes me internalize a book, which I truly enjoy. This week, we're going to cover Alex Hermoza's $100 million offers. And it's interesting because I had heard of this book. I had quite a few people refer this book to me. And I had heard quite a few top real estate agents and loan officers say how this book completely changed their business. So I was eager to listen to it and to read it. I got the Audible here. I got the Audible early on, and I listened to the entire book. It's just a little under 4 hours. I listened to the entire Audible driving to Las Vegas to go attend the Modern Mortgage Summit and Modern Real Estate Summit. And so, start to finish, never got out of my car, listened to 4 hours, not taking notes, driving through the desert. And I didn't really enjoy it. And I was like, what is everybody talking about? Like, I didn't get it. Maybe it was the authors who does the narration of the audiobook. I wasn't connecting with it. But in the book, the author says, look, to understand my book, you should listen to it and read it, preferably at the same time. And so, I didn't do that. I just listened to Audible. I get to Modern Mortgage Summit and Modern Real Estate Summit, that had, I think, I don't remember, 15 speakers. Like, a handful of them cited the book from stage. I'm like, I really missed this book, man. I got to figure it out. And so I was eager to read the book this week to see if I could put the pieces together. And I did. And I'm really happy to talk about it. So, next little interesting, has nothing to do with the book. I ordered this book on Amazon. You can get it free on Audible, or it's like 99 cents on Audible or Kindle. And you can also get a digital copy of this book all over the place for free. But I ordered this book on Amazon, and I'm not kidding or using hyperbole. The book showed up at my front door in less than 15 minutes. How in the world did that happen? I have no idea. Because it's not like where I live here in Scottsdale is next to the nearby warehouse. So somehow this book showed up in like 15 minutes. And I was amazed. I go to the front door to see what Amazon delivered, because it really could be anything in my house. And I find this book here. Now, the first thing I said, how in the world did this book get here in 15 minutes? I know this has nothing to do with the book, but I'm still telling you my story. So I go, how in the world did this book get here in 15 minutes? I don't understand. And then I was bummed out. I go, I didn't order the paperback. I ordered the hardbound copy. How come they delivered me the paperback? So I went to my order to confirm that I ordered a hardbound copy, and I wanted to go return. I go, hey, take this back and bring me the hardbound copy. But I couldn't because my order hadn't actually been processed yet, even though it had been delivered somehow. So somehow it showed up at my door in 15 minutes. But then 30 minutes later, the hardbound copy shows up miraculously. So I don't know how I got a softbound copy in 15 minutes. And then I don't know how they knew they sent me the wrong thing and sent me the hardbound copy 30 minutes later. It's total confusion, but it was a really mystical way to start with the book. So there you go. We're doing $100 million offers. I didn't get this at all in the beginning. And then when I read the book this week, it really started to resonate with me. And I went from I don't get it to this book is great. And then on top of that, in trying to get ready, because doing a book review in 15 minutes, especially a book that has so much content, is impossible. And I haven't mastered it, as you know, because I think last week I went 28 minutes, and the week before I went like 22 minutes. I'm going to go a little long this week because I've already wasted 4 minutes telling you about my life. But it's really hard to do. And in trying to kind of get my mind around how to do this book review in 15 minutes, I've started listening to Alex's podcasts, which are pure gold. And I put a link to one of them in the show notes. So I put a link to how to become a million. How I would become a millionaire in 2024. It's an hour long. It's great. But in listening through some of the stuff I was listening this morning on my walk this morning, I listened to an 11-minute podcast where he was fired up, and it was like he was on somebody else's podcast, and they're like, "Your book is great, but I'm so sorry we can't apply it to e-commerce." And so the guy heard about that, and he got fired up in a really nice way, and he did this 11-minute podcast about how he can apply his book to e-commerce. The important part was, so in 11 minutes, he totally went through how you apply his book, every part of his book to e-commerce. So he did essentially a book review in 11 minutes. I'm gonna take much longer, but it showed that it could be done. Listen to that, how get it. Like, one, if you're interested in what I'm saying about the book, get the book. You can get it for 99 cents. The Audible didn't work for me. The author says, Alex says, read it and listen to it at the same time. You can get the digital copy of the book almost everywhere for free. You can buy the book from Amazon. I think it's sold over half a million copies. It's been a #1 bestseller for over 2 years. His second book is also a #1 bestseller. It's $100 million Leads. I can't wait to read that book now. But you can also, he does a ton of free content. He's very prolific. He has, I think, 47 million followers or something like that, or some crazy number of followers. But he puts out great content. So you can go, he has a bunch of 30-minute, 15-minute, hour-long podcasts. They're all provocative titles. It's great. So go and listen to his stuff. But let's talk about $100 million offers. Let's get started on it. And I will, I'll try to get you the nuts and bolts of this. It has a ton of great content. Here's the first thing. $100 million offers, it's anchored by the concept of making Grand Slam offers. That's what it's anchored by Grand Slam offers. And in essence, this is what Alex says. Make people an offer so good that they feel stupid to say no. That's simple. That's his whole premise. Just make people an offer so good they feel stupid saying no. And so that's what the whole book is about. How do you make offers that people feel stupid to say no about? And when he talks about an offer, and here's what he means by making offers that people can say no to, is, you have to make an offer that can be compared to no other product or service available in the market. And then you have to combine that unmatchable offer, that unmatchable product, with a great promotion or marketing, with a premium price, an unbeatable guarantee, an easy way to pay, right? And that's what a Grand Slam offer is. So a Grand Slam offer is, this is a really important part though. It's a product that cannot be compared to any other product, right? So it's not available. So it's a very unique product, right? That you put unique or attractive marketing or promotion to. You have an unmatchable value proposition surrounding it. You're charging a premium price and you're giving an unbeatable guarantee. That's what a Grand Slam offer is, right? And one of the things, and this book is comprehensive, talks all about, it's like a business plan, it's like a blueprint. And he's like, look, you can't be in the commodity business, because the problem is there's a commodity problem, and the way that you beat being a commodity is you continually grow your business, because you're either growing or dying, he says. And if you're growing your business, you're doing three things. You're getting more clients, you're increasing your average client, you're increasing the purchases of your average clients, or three, you're getting them to buy more time. So getting more clients, or getting the clients you have to buy more, right? Or getting them to buy more often. That's how you grow your business, right? Now, he goes on and he speaks about, who's your target market and finding the right market. And he uses in his book the example of a hot dog stand. And the theory is, to find the right market, you need to find a starving crowd. And he did this in a podcast I was listening to before. Let's say you were consulting somebody that sold hot dogs, right? And you said, Mr. Hot Dog, company owner, I can help you. I can grant you one wish to improve your sales. What you want? And the owner might say, I want my hot dogs to taste better or to be healthier. And as a consultant, you say, no, that's not going to work. And they say, well, I want to be able to sell them cheaper. And you'd say, no, that won't work either. Or you might say, look, I want to be able to make them faster, so that presto, they're available. And the consultant goes, no, that won't work. And the guy goes, well, what the hell would work? And the idea is, well, if you put them on a street corner where people were starving, then you sell them no matter what they taste, no matter how much they cost, no matter whether they're healthy or not, no matter how long they took to cook. If you had a hot dog stand, on a corner where a crowd came out starving, you would sell out. And he uses the example of toilet paper during, the pandemic. You didn't even have great toilet paper. You didn't have the right size. You didn't have the right quantity. All you needed to have toilet paper, and you'd be rich selling it, right? And that's a starving crowd. So the first thing is, if you want to be successful, is find a starving crowd. find somebody that's starving for the product that you've created, right, or the services that you created, and that starts without you can do everything else right, but without a starving crowd, you can't succeed. So find a starving crowd. I really like that, and the book is full of nuggets like this. It really is, and then he gets into charging for what it's worth, and he quotes Warren Buffett: "Price is what you pay, value is what you get." And he goes on to say, look, people want to get a deal. They want to get more value or perceived value than what they think they're paying for, right? And when people perceive the value is dipping lower than the price, they stop buying. And from this, he created this little visual called the virtuous versus vicious cycle of price. It essentially says, look, when you cut your price, all sorts of problems happen. When you increase your price, all sorts of positive things happen. So if your product is overpriced, fix the value, don't cut the price. Really interesting chapter. Check it out. Makes total sense. He's constantly going, fix the value, fix the value. Now, his premise, the whole book, he says repeatedly in different ways, charge as much as humanly possible. You deserve to charge as much as possible. By the way, I believe this too, and some of you might not believe this because I'm always, talking about loan officer comp and real estate agent comp. Charge as much as humanly possible. Just make sure it's worth it. Just make sure your services are more valuable than what you're charging. Love that. Love that. And so he has a chapter on this. Has a little chart kind of thing. And that gets him into the next thing. And this is the big part of the book. Grand Slam offers is the big, starting premise. The real chunky one that the book hangs on is called the value equation. Here's a nice little visual of this. And there's 4 components to the value equation. 2 are positive, 2 are negative. The first one, which is positive, is dream outcome. And that is, what is your, it's part of what problem are you solving for the client, but if your client dreams of using your product, what outcome do they feel or experience when they think about it, right? Like if I, at one point in one of his podcasts, he uses talking about buying a jacket. If I'm buying a jacket, right, what am I buying that jacket for? What does it make me feel? Does it make me warm? Does it make me feel styling? What's that dream outcome? And so in your value proposition, you got to really anchor to your client's dream outcome. The next thing is on a positive, what's the likelihood of it working, right? And the higher likelihood that the prospective client thinks that it's going to work, the more value there is. So let's say that I wanted to have a diet, get on a diet, I want to lose weight. One of my buying triggers is going to be, do I believe the diet I'm going to pay for is going to work, right? And so if you think of this positive, think of a diet, my dream outcome, what would I look like if I lost 20, 30, 40 pounds? How would I feel? What life would I live? And then if I buy your product, will it work? Will my dream outcome really happen, right? And so those are the 2 positives. And you want, as high a score possible on the dream outcome and the perceived likelihood of achievement. Now, if you think those are above, if you think of this like a division problem, those 2 factors are above the line. The other 2 factors are below, they're negative, right? The negative factor is the time delay. How long will it take for me how long will it take for me to experience the perceived value or the achievement, right? And so if I was losing weight, well, when do I start looking at losing weight? When do I wear smaller clothes? When does the scale look, whatever. How long is the time delay? The longer the delay, the lower the value of the product. And then the 4th component is the perceived effort or sacrifice, right? And by the way, Alex's background, he started in gyms, made a ton of money in gyms, then lost money in gyms. Really interesting. Then he started selling gym memberships and services. It's a really interesting story. But that's why he uses health and exercise in all of his examples. But if I was going to use an example, I wanted to lose weight, so I wanted to buy the program from you, and I believe that was going to work. How long though until I start to lose weight? And the last thing is, how much effort and sacrifice do I have to make? An effort and sacrifice. What do I have to start doing? And it might be I have to start waking up early and going to the gym. I have to start eating healthy. I have to eat foods I don't like. Right? That's the effort. And then the sacrifice is, what do I have to stop doing? So I have to stop going to Margarita Mondays and stop going to Taco Tuesdays and stop going to all you can eat fish fry on Wednesdays. So that's the sacrifice. So those are the 4 components of the value equation. Positives are dream outcome and perceived likelihood of achievement. The negatives are time delay and effort and sacrifice, and that all equals value. So isn't that quite interesting? Because we always talk about, look, we need to give more value. We need to give more value. Our value has to be greater than what our clients are paying. But I really like having this formula of value because now we can kind of, from a very numeric way or very quantitative way, going what's our value and start to score it, right? Which is great. Now the last thing, because we're running out of time, I don't want to go super late. He goes through the Grand Slam offers. He talks about the commodity problem, finding the right market, and starving a crowd. He moves on to the virtuous versus vicious pricing, and then he gets to the value equation. He does a couple chapters in kind of with the Grand Slam offer, some concepts like trim and stack, but I'm not going to get into those now. They're pretty easy. The part I do want to get into, though, is he has a bunch of chapters on features of an offer. And here's what they are. They're scarcity, urgency, bonuses, guarantee, and naming. Those are the 5 features that enhance an offer. And each one of those things is a full chapter. There's all sorts of stuff around it. I'm going to go through it really quickly. You can check out the book if you want to get this stuff. But scarcity, which is really the fear of missing out, that's the psychological lever of limiting the supply or quantity of products or services that are available for purchase. And here's what the deal is with scarcity. Scarcity works as the fear of loss is stronger than the desired gain. So the FOMO is stronger, right, than the pleasure that people want. And so you have to add scarcity in your offers. You have to either limit the supply of seats or slots or products, limited supply of bonuses, never available again. You have to create some sort of scarcity in your product to make it more attractive. Next, you have to have urgency. And the urgency is a psychological lever of limiting timing and establishing deadlines for the products or services that are available for purchase. Now, to create urgency, you can put limited time, buying time windows, seasonal offers, promotional or pricing urgencies. And in a great podcast I listened to this morning from him, or we listened to yesterday, he talked about how Amazon is great with urgency, like flash sales, right? Or 100 available, right? They do scarcity and urgency great, and it makes you want to buy. Only 14 left, right? All that stuff is built in that we don't even know, that we don't remember. But if you go look subconsciously with Amazon, they do all this stuff. So the next one is a guarantee, and that's just removing the risk. And there's all sorts of, he gives a bunch of different of guarantees: unconditional, conditional, anti-guarantee, implied guarantee. There's the conditional has 10 sub points. I'm not going to go through it because we're running long. But if you give a guarantee, you remove the risk, right, from the buyer that this may not work and it may not be worth it, right? And so check out the different kinds of guarantees, and those are pretty cool. And then finally, bonuses. And bonuses are really clever. And here's what a bonus is. It's an additional to the core product or services that increases a prospect's price to value discrepancy by increasing the value delivering instead of cutting the price. Here's what this means. Here's what he says. I'll boil this down. And once again, he has 11 points on bonuses, like how to offer bonuses. But the key is take your base product or service. That's what you offer. And then you offer add-ons as bonuses. And the interesting thing is, those add-ons would normally be what you would have packaged the original price in. Instead, take part of those components out and make them a bonus, and it's more attractive to your buyer. So create bonuses. Like I said, he has 11 strategies for how to create bonuses. Check that out. You can check it out in the book. And then naming is a really interesting point, and I didn't get it the first couple times I read it or heard it. I got it when I listened to a podcast of his a week ago about naming. And naming has all sorts of positive things, and it's mostly about are you appropriately naming your product to attract the right avatar to your business, right? And are you naming it in a way that can be marketed? Really interesting. Once again, he has about a dozen comments, bullet points on how to name something. The entire book is great. Like I said, I mistreated it because I listened to the podcast, didn't like it, set it down, ignored it for 6 months, then decided to pick it up last week so I could talk about it today. And then I started to research Alex, and I really like his material. I can see why top loan officers and top real estate agents say this has changed their business. I hope you like this. I hope you have a great Sunday. Thank you for if you listened or if you cruised by. I appreciate your eyeballs on this. Check me out on social media if you get a chance. I think we've created a playlist for my book club. I'm not sure if we have all of them in there yet, but you can go to YouTube, check out my book club playlist. I also have my playlist for the new normal. I think I have 3 or 4 playlists. Check it out. Appreciate your attention. Have a great Sunday. I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks.